Albert Watkins is the lawyer representing the guy right next to me. Yes, the QAnon shaman who also breached the Capitol and was photographed, engaging in all sorts of nonsense. Now, his lawyer is a gentleman by the name of Albert Watkins, and turns out he's not really much of a gentleman at all. During an interview with Talking Points Memo, he said some pretty awful things. I'm gonna read you his quote. Yes, we're gonna censor a pretty significant portion of it because of the language he decided to use, but I'm sure you guys can use your imagination. A lot of these defendants, and he's referring to the defendants who breached the Capitol on January 6th, the insurrectionists, and I'm going to use this colloquial term, perhaps disrespectfully, but they're all effing short bus people. These are people with brain damage. They're effing, you know what that slur is. They're on the goddamn spectrum, but they're our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, our coworkers. They're part of our country. These aren't bad people. They don't have prior criminal history. They were subjected to 4+ years of goddamn propaganda, the likes of which the world has not seen since effing Hitler. That's Albert Watkins, a lawyer, folks. A lawyer representing the QAnon shaman.
Yeah. Not all law schools are made equally, I guess. You can sort of slip and slide through, I guess.
True. It's fascinating how he didn't hold back. And he was asked about whether he wants to issue an apology for the statement. We'll go to that video in just a minute. But before we do, I do want to give you an opportunity to share your thoughts, John.
Yeah, I like, for a paragraph of text, a rant really, that is so deranged. I love that he did throw out the possibility that this might perhaps be disrespectful. I'm gonna call them short bus people. That might be a borderline case of disrespect. Yes, no, I think that you do almost went over the line there. No, it's insane. I don't get it as a legal strategy. I don't know if this is the best that he can do, or if he's intending to throw himself out there as such a chaotic and self-destructive force that it maybe aids his client by disrupting the proceedings. Maybe they have to start over because his representation appears to be insane. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. To be fair, neither is he, regardless of degree, clearly. But I don't know. I don't know. It's awful.
Isn't it amazing how many questionable people have passed the bar?
Yep.
Like how many Trump lawyers worked for his campaign and then proceeded to embarrass themselves as they failed to provide a shred of evidence indicating that there was widespread voter fraud.
Giuliani passed it.
I know, but Giuliani, believe me, I'm not making excuses for Giuliani, but he
was saner.
He was saner. I mean, I obviously never really agreed with him politically, and I've always found him questionable. But in terms of like his behavior, he has degraded himself quite a bit publicly, and I think aging might have something to do with it. I'm just putting that out there. Now, with that said, I do want to go to this video because he was asked on CNN whether he'd like to issue an apology for what he had to say. And to be sure, he did get considerable backlash. So let's hear from Albert Watkins.
Counselor, the Special Olympics says the R word is a form of hate speech and that the word has become an insult used all too commonly in everyday language. Would you like to apologize this morning?
No.
How does offending millions of Americans help your clients?
For 5 months, I acted professionally. I talked to the people that needed to know. I made sure that the Department of Justice had the opportunity firsthand to meet with my client, the guy who was shirtless, with horns, tattoos, or fur, to have them understand and appreciate the condition, the special needs of my client. I let them talk to my client while he is confined, not once, not twice, but multiple times. And I got nowhere. All I had to do was get vulgar in a short, sound bite-driven quote that permitted this very issue.
Does he mean getting onto the news?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of stuck at where he said, for 5 months, I was professional. And so anytime I slip up and do anything that might be deemed a little unprofessional, I'm gonna use that same excuse. But for months, guys, I was super professional. And you know what? Give me this one. Like, just let me off the hook this one time while I say the worst things about people, you know.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For 9 years, I've covered the news for TYT and nobody cared. So now, no more pants. I've done it for long enough. All I had to do was get vulgar, and I think you know what I mean. I'm gonna stand up in a second, and that's gonna drive some news coverage, okay?
Are you gonna apologize, John?
No, no, I'm not gonna apologize. I'm not even gonna speak anymore. I'm just gonna show you. No.
Okay.
I guess it works, I don't know.
So Brett Ehrlich has a show called Happy Half Hour for those of you who are unaware of it. It's on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TYT. And he has this new segment called Everybody Sucks Farts. And I think that this story falls under that category, right? Because, you know, the people he's representing, they're not bringing their best, okay?
No.
The lawyer himself is awful because, like, here's the other part of it. Imagine being one of his clients, being represented by this guy. He's openly, transparently telling the world what he thinks of you.
Totally.
And it's awful.
Yeah, yeah, and I just don't understand his point. I mean, maybe he like, what did the judge expedite something? Not that I've read. Like, okay, the lawyer got brought on the news, but the news talked about that guy more than I think any of the other people from January 6th. So it's not like the news wasn't covering the case before the vulgarity. I don't understand the point that he was making. I don't know.
I think what he was trying to do, at least in the you know, that offensive quote, was try to basically make an excuse for his client by saying he's got developmental issues and he's been taking in all of this Trump-fueled propaganda for 4 years straight. And as a result, that combination persuaded him to do what he did on January 6th. But you can make that statement the way that I just did right now.
Yeah.
You can.
Sorry, I dozed off. You should swear more.
Yeah. And by the way, swearing, I guess, sorry, spittle. Swearing is fine. I'm not against swearing. That's not the offensive part. The offensive part is the word he used to describe his clients and the way that he honestly insulted their intelligence while insulting simultaneously the, you know, people with developmental issues.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.